everyone, my name is Miki and I'm teaching Queer Eastern Europe class at UT. Today I'll be talking about Mikhail Kuzmin, the author of the first queer coming out novel in the history of European literature. So he is one of the greatest writers of the beginning of the 20th century in Russia, so it's called Silver Age. And his famous novel that we'll be talking about today is called Wings. It was published in 1907 and it got him a lot of attention from the readers all over Russia. People were really into this novel because it was the first novel that talked explicitly about homosexual relationship, and people were really excited and they wanted to translate it into French and other languages. So it was a really big deal in 1907, and he was kind of a center of homosexual culture in Russia of that time, because he had friends. Also he frequented queer places like meeting places, and he wrote diaries, which are also considered to be a work of art. So where actually these diaries are one of the only sources. Because of these diaries, we know something about homosexual culture in pre-revolutionary Russia. So these diaries are really explicit, and he speaks a lot about his queer relationships, but like for that period. But still, it's not this explicit as we speak about queer relationships today. So sometimes it's a lot of understatements. Sometimes it's like you should understand if you're queer yourself. So like there are some hints, and you'll get them if you're queer yourself. This novel that he wrote in 1907 was accompanied by the poems that he also wrote, Alexandrine songs, and the poems were highly praised by other writers. One of them was Vyacheslav Ivanov, who was also bisexual, and he had a lot of evenings, like literary evenings at his place, in his tower, how it was called. And some of these evenings were homosexually themed, so they were called in honor of Persian. I think, yeah, it's a Persian poet, Hafiz, who was like a homosexual, and who wrote about it, about homosexual relationship in the Middle Ages, and they Russian writers, basically, who were queer and mostly men, they met like once a week at Vyacheslav Ivanov's place, and they had discussions of the topic, and also sometimes it would lead even to sex parties or something like this. So we have also evidence about it in Kuzmin's diary. So there were a lot of people who were involved in this. Other poets like Sergei Gorodetsky, Nikolai Kluyev, who was also, as a Kuzmin, an old believer, so from the family of old believers, and with Kuzmin, so it's, and also with Kluyev, it's interesting how their homosexuality is related to their religious beliefs, and they're still Christians, and sometimes they're connecting their homosexuality with Christian beliefs or with Platonic beliefs. So they think about homosexuality as a higher form of love, as opposed to strictly procreational love to women, and it leads sometimes to some actually quite some sexist remarks in Kuzmin's works. But other than this, so it's a really great writer, and I really hope that you guys be reading it at some point. It's a really cool novel, The Wings by Mikhail Kuzmin, 1907. Bye.